welcome to What's Cooking New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Well, today you can see I'm on my own, and the reason for that is we've had a great year here at the Heart of New Ulm. The What's Cooking show has been running for almost 40 episodes already. Throughout this time, I've come across some really great recipes, and I wanted to pick out a couple of my favorite and share them with you today. All right, so, one of the greatest questions I get is, well, I have small kids and we have to have a snack, and what can I make that's quick? So what I did today is I pulled together a few easy ingredients that we're just going to all throw together in a pan and serve up for our kids. So often we think we have to go out of our way and find things that are unique and different, but if we look in our own cupboards, these are the things we can find to make a great snack. So what I have today for you is some wheat checks, some pretzel rods, some roasted almonds, and then what I did is I took some dark chocolate chips and I melted them in the microwave. All I'm going to do is throw all these together and I'm going to let them cool. This is about a 5-minute recipe. This doesn't require a lot of time, a lot of effort, or a lot of cooking skill like I might have. But what we need to do is just throw it together. Now what you're going to find is that your almonds are a great source of protein. That's going to add into your day. We're going to increase our fiber with these. But we do have to be careful with these. They're a little bit higher in calories. Our pretzel sticks and our wheat checks, again, are be a good source of carbohydrate. And of course, the dark chocolate, well, we all love dark chocolate. And we're going to throw that on top just to make it taste a little bit better. So all we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to add 2 cups of the wheat checks in a bowl. We're going to break up these pretzel sticks so they're not such quite long rods. And you can do this with just about anything in your cupboard. You can throw in any kind of cereal. Make sure that it doesn't have a lot of added sugar, but we're going to put that in there. Mix them in there. I prefer the almonds, but if you like things like walnuts, pecans, cashews, all of those would work fine in here as well. Let's mix that up a little bit. And then we're already ready for our chocolate, so we're going to go ahead and add that on top as well. I did choose the dark chocolate. Remember, that's higher in antioxidants. Chocolate in itself is not a bad food. It's about how much we have of it. So a little bit of chocolate on top. This was about 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips. Like I said, I had this in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes, stirring in between. I'm going to take that. I'm going to mix it together. You can see I'm just going to get all of this food nicely coated once we have a good coating on there. And once it's fully coated, all we need to do is grab a piece of wax paper. We're going to spread it out and let it cool off. This is one of the recipes that is found in the Eating Well cookbook that we gave to all of our New Ulm residents in their grocery bags. Easy enough to make, less than 5 minutes, and we already have a great heart-healthy snack for kids and for family members alike. Now that you're making holiday cookies and you're planning to start those New Year's resolutions, this is a great snack to incorporate into your family's daily intake, weekly intake, however you want to use it, but a great snack, and can't get much easier than that. Let's go ahead and check in with Holly and see what's new for Fit in 5.
Welcome to today's Fit in 5. Last time we talked a little bit about doing upper body exercises when we're watching TV. Today we're going to talk about how to do the lower body exercises when watching our favorite television program. Once again, I'm going to slide over here and grab my soup cans or my food cans. And I'm going to use these for some resistance. You don't have to use any resistance with the exercises I'm going to show you today. We're going to do a multi-joint exercise in varying degrees that will provide us a way to use all of the muscles of our lower body to get a good workout. I'm going to use resistance with cans today. Again, you can use milk jugs or you can use nothing at all. We're going to start with a squat. A squat is a fairly basic move, but it can also be pretty tricky, so you want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. I want to start with my feet hip distance apart, and my knees are always going to be soft here. I don't really ever want to lock out a joint, so I want to keep my knees nice and soft. I'm also going to make sure that my core muscles are nice and engaged. Your core muscles are your abdominals and your back. Once we have these engaged, we know our balance is going to be pretty good if we have a good, strong core. And we want a little bit of balance to do these activities today. I'm going to start basically with my resistance to the side, and I'm just going to do a basic squat, down and up. Now, when we squat, believe me, it's pretty okay to stick that hind end just a little bit, as long as our chest stays nice and lifted. You know, we don't want to do a lady-like squat. We want to make sure that we're coming straight down and up. You'll notice, too, that when I come up, my knees still stay soft. So I'm not going to come down and up and lock the knees. I'm going to come down, up, and then keep my knees nice and soft. You're going to feel a squat everywhere, basically. The glutes and the thigh muscles, quadriceps, hamstrings. A squat hits all of those areas. So I'm going to continue again to do this for about 12 times. Take a 30-second break or so, and then do it again. Now, if we're feeling a little bit like our balance isn't great, we can use our handy chair, and we use a chair a lot. You can also have your hand on a wall. You can come down and up again. Same thing. Just having a base of support there sometimes helps us feel a little bit secure. Now, we're going to work the squat with some balance this time around. So I'm actually going to put my soup cans or my food cans away because I want to make sure that I don't have anything throwing me off balance at all. This time what we're going to do is put all of our weight onto our right leg, and we're just going to put the toes of the left foot on the floor in front of us. We're going to then go ahead and squat down and up again, and we can have some balance arms right here. But the majority of my weight is actually on this right leg. You'll notice I can pull my toe off the floor and barely touch it down, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Okay. Again, the toes there for support. The better balance we feel like we have, the more we can take the foot completely off the floor. And we're squatting with just this one leg. So you're going to obviously feel the intensity in your right leg. Can you do the same thing with the chair and work on your balance? You bet. You can have this one foot forward, all the weight onto the right leg again. Hold on to the chair, maybe just put a fingertip on there. Have the toes forward and just come down and back up again. If you want to practice with your balance, then you just take the hand off the chair, put it back on, until you can gradually build up to this. Okay? We also want to be careful that we have good balance. We don't want to torque the knee when we squat here. So having some type of help there is great. That's another little variety of a squat. The other thing we can do, and the last thing I'll show you today, with a squat is, again, we're going to have our feet about hip distance apart. And this time, we're going to have hands on the hips. Those core muscles are engaged to help us balance and help keep us upright. This time, though, we're going to squat down, and we're going to try again to raise a leg to the side, down. So again, we're incorporating that balance in, but we're also incorporating a side leg lift for the adductor muscles in the outer thigh. Okay, so we come down and up. So same thing. I'm going to do 12 on that side, 12 on this side. Take about a 30-second break and then start again. One thing you'll notice with balance, when you incorporate this, you're probably going to notice one side will balance really well, and the other side maybe not so much. So that's why it's good to keep doing balance exercises like this, or like the last one I showed you, just to help build some symmetry with your body just a little bit. With today's Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Make it a healthy one.
Thanks, Holly. Make sure you're staying active and following Holly's tips in her Fit in 5. Okay, so my next recipe for today is based on one of my favorites. So I love lasagna, but I know that it's very high in calories, and I just can't have it all the time. I also love to have a good hot dish. It's in a Minnesota way, and it's what I grew up on. So what I chose today is an inside-out lasagna. Again, this is available in the Eating Well book that was handed out with the grocery bags at the Community Health Challenge kickoff, and you can get those from us here at the Heart of New Ulm office. All right, with this recipe, I'm going to be using some whole wheat rotini. I'm going to have my fresh mushrooms, a little bit of skim ricotta cheese, garlic, a little bit of crushed red pepper, some diced tomatoes, baby spinach, and a good old-fashioned onion. Now, I'm not a big fan of spicy things, so I am going to skip the crushed red pepper today. The recipe does call for it, so if you like a little zing in your lasagna, you're welcome to keep that in. The other thing I really don't like to do is chop an onion. This is not something that I look forward to doing, so I found myself a great little gizmo. This is actually just going to chop it up, it's going to dice it up for me, and it's going to make it nice and quick. I would tell you, make sure you use the top handle or you're going to lose the tips of your fingers. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding a little bit of olive oil into our pan. Get that nice and warm. And we're just going to let that heat up a little bit. We're going to spread that around the pan and make sure it's well coated on the bottom. When we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and add in our onions and mushrooms and get those nice and softened up. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Now this recipe actually calls for 8 cups of the baby spinach. Now it seems like a lot, and when you put it in the pan, you're going to think that's all there is in there. But as it cooks down, this is going to become one of your smaller ingredients, and you might not even taste it in there. If you're not a big fan of vegetables, it's a good way to sneak in the spinach. Okay, so it looks like our olive oil is heating up pretty good. Let's coat the bottom of this pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my onion chopper here. I'm going to lay it right on top of my pan. And I'm just going to cut it this way. Now my family is big on onions, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of extra onion in there. And if you take a look, there we go. Nice and easy. We have a fully chopped onion. We're ready to go. In this as well, I'm going to add my mushrooms. Again, mushrooms are something we want to keep in our diet as much as possible. They're full of nutrients, things that we don't find in many of our other vegetables. And you know, they add a really distinctive flavor as well. Now this is going to be a very filling recipe. It's going to feed your entire family, and it's going to be nice and quick. You might notice that I've already boiled and softened up my rotini, so that's going to be ready to go. As we wrap up this year and we wait for these to brown, I want to remind you that as the new year approaches, you want to become more involved with the Heart of New Ulm. We've been blessed in our community to be given this program, and we're already seeing great results. We have had an increase of 28% in our vegetable consumption and fruits, and we're also seeing many more people out being active. This is your year, this is your time. Visit with one of our health coaches, and you too can become heart healthy. All right, so we're going to get these nice and soft. What you're looking for is you're waiting for these mushrooms to release their moisture. That's when they're going to shrink down. They're going to change their color a little bit. Anytime that you're using onions, you want to make sure that they become opaque, almost see-through, and that's when they're going to be just right. From here then, we are using diced tomatoes. Today I chose that with basil, garlic, and oregano, so that's going to be, again, an Italian flavor to it. You can choose any you'd like. If you can find the low sodium diced tomatoes, that's exactly what we're looking for. Remember, sodium is going to increase our blood pressure, and it does make a difference on our overall heart health. So if you can find the low sodium, it's just going to be better for you. The recipe does call also for 3 cloves of garlic. What I've done is I've already had that all diced up and ready to go. Remember, 1 clove of garlic yields about 1 teaspoon for a small clove of diced garlic. So if you're going to have that pre-purchased, you can go ahead and use that as your measurement. A large clove or an extra large is actually going to yield about 1 tablespoon of crushed garlic. The Heart of New Ulm has worked through many partnerships this year, and we've worked closely with the community. We've worked with the Park and Rec, who's seen actually a 60% increase in their participation in memberships, which is phenomenal. Again, that's a boon back to our community. We've partnered with New Cat, who airs this cooking show on a regular basis. We've also worked with other fitness centers, our grocery stores, and restaurant owners. This has been a project for our entire community, and we hope that you will support it as well. Okay, so our mushrooms are starting to turn brown here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our diced tomatoes. And we're going to give that a good mix as well. We're just going to get this so it's heated up a little bit and let those juices release a little bit and heat that back up. Again, it's called an inside-out lasagna. So instead of packing it full of heavy pasta, we're going to use the light, a little bit lighter wheat rotini, which is going to lower your overall carbohydrate intake. We have many different pastas too that will have reduced net carb, will be higher in fiber, different things that you can replace in there as well. All right, so I think we're about ready to add in our our spinach. Okay, so as I mentioned, you're going to see that this is going to become quite full with the spinach, but that's going to cook down really quite quickly. All right. You know, spinach is a great replacement for our lettuce and other greens. It's going to be very high in vitamin K, and it's going to keep you full longer than your regular iceberg lettuce will as well. All right, well, this is cooking down. Why don't we check in and see what's new with Betsy with the Heart of New Ulm.
Hi, I'm Betsy Fliszar with the Hearts Beat Back, Heart of New Ulm project. I wanted to let you know about some upcoming exciting events. In January, we'll have a tobacco cessation course that kicks off on January 4th. If your resolution involves quitting smoking or quitting tobacco use, consider attending this session. January 4th at 5:30 p.m. at the New Ulm High School in the lecture theater on the lower level, we'll be having an informational session from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. You can get more information by visiting our website at heartsbeatback.org or call us at 233-1945 to register. The course lasts 7 weeks and costs $20. Money is refunded in full if the class is completed. Also, save the date, January 20th, nationally known author Anne Fletcher will be in New Ulm at MLC at 6:30 p.m. We hope to see you there for an exciting Community Health Challenge kickoff on our new Take 5 promotion. Have a great week.
Okay, Betsy, that's a great update. Make sure you're getting involved with the Heart of New Ulm as well. Okay, so you can see that our spinach has cooked down pretty thoroughly here. I did go ahead and add in the garlic. I'm going to bring that spinach down just a little bit further. Now the recipe says go ahead and put this in your bowl with your pasta now and add the ricotta on top. But I have 4 kids and they never get the quantity quite right and they won't be able to choose the right flavor. So I like to add that right into my dish. So I went ahead and measured out 1/3 cup here for my ricotta. Again, I used the skim. Just like in our milk, ricotta is going to have a whole, a light, and a skim. So in keeping with our good heart health principles, we want to make sure we're choosing that skim ricotta. And we're going to add that in as well. Oftentimes, you'll notice that the ricotta is a little bit more expensive. A good substitution there is, again, your cottage cheese can also be used in place of a ricotta. And you can see that this definitely looks like the inside of a lasagna. We're just cutting down all those carbs. We're going to finish mixing this up. Again, if you want to cut back on the ricotta, you can feel free to do that as well. That is going to reduce your overall calories in this dish. If you want to increase the spinach, or if you would like to add things like fennel or anything else that's going to add a different flavor, feel free to do that as well. All right, so now that this is pretty well mixed and settled, we're going to go ahead and add it right into our pasta. We're going to mix it all together. Again, it does have that feeling of a regular Minnesota hot dish, which we all like to have. It's going to keep us warm this winter, and yet it's going to promote our good heart health. So once that's all mixed up, we have a really nice, colorful dish. You can see how that looks, and it looks ready to eat. You could serve this with something like a baguette or maybe another vegetable on the side. Start it off with a nice salad in the beginning or a fruit cocktail for dessert. It's going to be a great, complete meal. It has all of our vegetable servings that we're looking for, and it's going to be nice and filling. So those are my favorite recipes from 2010. I want to take a minute to thank you for watching the What's Cooking show here in New Ulm, and we want to thank New Cat for all that they've done for us this year, and we look forward to another great year with the Heart of New Ulm in 2011. Thanks, and have a great day.